This is breaking news coverage on News 3.
So the accused gunman in this case was a concealed carry permit holder here in Nevada, and pictures online show the CCW was issued by Metro Police back in June of 2022 and it's set to expire in 2 years. We have video of that permit. It was actually one of several items located on the accused gunman tonight. There it is right there. As you can see, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department concealed firearms permit with the suspect's picture, Shane Tamura, and when it was issued as well as when it was going to expire. Now, the gun that officials say Tamura carried when he walked into the building and opened fire was an M4. Now, we've also been digging into the past in his history, and it doesn't appear that he has a criminal history, but I was able to uncover that he was arrested by Metro Police in 2023 and faced a trespass not amounting to burglary charge, but court records show a DA denial in that case, so that means the district attorney's office did not pursue charges. So I want to go back to the weapon that officials described. It is an M4, which is a long gun, as Ted Snodgrass mentioned, which has the intention to be lethal, especially in a case like this and as we saw in New York. Now, during the news conference, officials saying Tamura had a documented history of mental health. So that really raises questions about why he was able to own a weapon, have a CCW, if there are mental health issues. So to talk to us a little bit more about that tonight is firearms expert Maggie Mordaunt. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So as I mentioned, we saw the picture of the permit that was issued to Tamura back in 2022. How difficult is it to obtain a CCW here in Nevada?
So there's a lot that has to be covered. A person has to take a 8-hour course, and there's quite a list of information that as instructors that we do have to go through to cover for the students, to include laws, how to use a handgun, by the way. That's what the CCW is for. The CFP, or Concealed Firearms Permit, is what we get here. There is 6 more pages that we do go through, the application that they do have to fill out. They will submit that to our CCW detail. They'll have their photograph taken. They'll be fingerprinted. For a brand new CCW, they'd have to pay $100.25. They do have that background check done. It's not an instant card that you get right away to be able to conceal carry a firearm, or a handgun, I should say. So when they do finally get that card in the mail, it can take up to 120 days to get it. So there is some waiting period. It's not an instant card that allows you to carry a firearm, which is discernible by ordinary observation, which is basically you can't see the gun on your body.
And we do know that there are certain disqualifiers listed on Metro's website, and that includes being declared mentally incompetent. So, and as I saw on their website, it means like admitted into a mental health facility within 5 years. So my question is, if this man has a history of mental health, is it possible that his CCW could be revoked?
Yes. So if he's judicially declared mentally incompetent, admitted into a mental health institution without him wanting to go, that's definitely something where they would have him surrender that concealed carry weapons license. Anything from a DUI to even a restraining order would actually cause him to have to surrender that concealed firearms permit license.
Well, from what we were looking in regards to if there was a potential criminal history, we're not really seeing anything there except for that one arrest. But like I mentioned, it was dismissed by the district attorney's office. So if police are continually being called out or know this is a person with a history of mental health, why weren't they able to take away his CCW?
There's things that kind of fall through the cracks. I think maybe it just wasn't flagged. It wasn't something that came up. The system isn't perfect. If it's not reported, then we just don't know.
And I know, or as we've been talking about, officials saying that he had an M4 assault style rifle. So can you talk to us a little bit about what kind of gun is that, and can you buy that here in Nevada?
Now, we want to remember that we are the weapon, and any physical thing that happens, we did it. But the tool that he did use is going to be something like this. This is the M4, basically your Armalite rifle style AR-15. This one, you have the 5.56. This is a barrel of 16 inches. Anything longer than that is considered a rifle. Anything shorter is considered a short barrel rifle, not to be confused with an AR pistol. But also the type of ammunition that is used. This is a pencil, and you'll see that this is the ammunition right here. You'll see that it's not much bigger than the circumference of a pencil.
That's very thin, very tiny.
It is. And then this is the carrier. This is the magazine to which the ammunition would go in. And we would definitely just take that and we would load it into the magazine well, and then run that bolt and load the rifle, or the carbine, I should say. This is a carbine, technically. So we want to not confuse that with a rifle, which has a longer barrel than that of the 16-inch barrel.
So to see a type of gun like that used in this crime, were you shocked by that? I mean, is this a typical gun that you would suspect someone would want to use to carry out this type of shooting?
I mean, you could do anything. Any handgun, any shotgun, rifle, carbine. It's just subjective to the individual and what they wanted to use. He wanted to use that, and I mean, we can't say what was going on through his mind. I mean, technically, he could have used a handgun. I'm actually concealed carrying a handgun. I have a handgun on my body right here. I could use a handgun too. So just as easily something that could have been used to carry out some sort of lethal offense against someone.
And as I wanted to go back to that one question I had, an M4, can you buy that here in Nevada? Are those easily accessible for anyone to walk into one of the gun shops and say, hey, I want to buy an M4 today?
So definitely, there isn't a restriction on purchasing the AR-15 or the M4. Just like any handgun, you again have to do a background check and make sure that if you have a CCW, it allows you to save $25 for that background check, but you still have to get that done. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as easy as buying milk from the grocery store. You still have to do paperwork and show that you are a lawful person to be able to purchase that.
And lastly, I just wanted to ask this. If his CCW may have been revoked in the past, could he still be carrying that permit even though it was possibly revoked? And like I said, we don't know if it has been. I was just curious because we do know that there's a history of mental health, and we don't know if that was a contributing factor to anything.
So if he had that card, I'm not sure if there's an investigation going on right now to which they may be looking into the request for that CCW. They may have actually requested it, and maybe he just didn't surrender it. So that's really something I'd have to wait, because we're going to let our amazing law enforcement do their due diligence, our investigators, to find out if maybe there was a request for it, and they're going to surrender that information, I'm sure.
Okay, so law enforcement can ask for it back, so they wouldn't be able to carry it around anymore. All right, well, Maggie, I want to say thank you so much for giving us some insight into CCWs as well as that M4, and showing us exactly what that looks like to give us a better idea of that gun. Maria and Dana, let's toss it back to you.
That was an amazing show and tell. Thank you so much for setting that up, and thanks to Maggie too for appearing live on the news tonight. We appreciate it.